Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 11th episode of Sonoran Sports Cards. Today we are going to, mention stuff that happened in pretty much every sport, with an emphasis on obviously basketball because the regular season just ended yesterday. The play-in tournament starts tomorrow, and then you have the playoffs. But before we get there, some sad news in the football world. I guess this past week, Dwayne Haskins, who was drafted by what are they called now? The Commanders? Yeah.
Yeah, Commanders.
Drafted by the then Redskins,
Commanders.
but now Commanders. He was on the Steelers. He recently got killed in a accident where he got hit by a car, which is just really sad.
Dump truck. To be fair, so it wasn't just a
truck.
car; it was straight up a dump truck. Yeah,
yeah, big old truck. Yeah.
Because I think they're still looking into it because he was crossing like the interstate like on foot. So it's like, why was he walking on the interstate? It's just weird.
Yeah, for sure. It is a little strange when you look into it a little bit, but nonetheless, it's really sad. I saw like Adam Schefter's been catching a lot of shit for it. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw something about Adam Schefter, but I didn't. Yeah, I never saw what he actually said.
He worded it really insensitively. Like he said like 25-year-old Dwayne Haskins, who was or played for Ohio State, drafted by the Washington football team, and struggled to find a place in the NFL, and just everyone was like, "Why does that matter?"
Yeah,
and everyone's right. Like, why does that matter? Somebody died. Like, it doesn't matter. Like
the fact that they struggled in the NFL has nothing to do with like what's going on.
Yeah, what matters is that somebody lost a friend, a husband, all that kind of stuff.
No, he should be getting crap for that, man. That's a super insensitive way of putting that.
Yeah, and I guess that's not the first time that he's been really insensitive about the way he talks about players, and obviously this is the worst thing, for sure. Oh, you should never have to talk about this for somebody that's 25.
No, definitely not.
For sure. So prayers go out to his family and stuff like that. Rest in peace, Dwayne. Big news if you're into golf. The Masters was this past weekend, and a really young dude by the name of Scotty Scheffler, I think he's right around 25 years of age, ended up taking home the green jacket, which is pretty crazy.
25, yes sir.
Yeah, he's young. I mean, I looked at him and I was like, because people were like, "Oh, 25," and I've seen Scotty Scheffler before, and I was like, "Is that the person that I'm thinking of?" Because his face does not look like a 25-year-old. I don't know if you.
I'm looking him up right now, and I was gonna say if I saw him and someone was like, "How old is he?" I'd be like late 30s.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, like I was like, Scotty Scheffler's only 25, really? I was like that in my mind. I was seeing the picture of him, and I was like, that dude looks like he's at least 35. But no, I guess he's 25, and he just won a green jacket, so that's huge news, for him. I guess second place went to Rory McIlroy, who made a big push on the last day. I think he shot like 8 under on the last day, which is crazy, but he just didn't do that well in the other 3 days, so it only got him second. Overall, though, watching the Masters and everything, people were not playing that well. Like a handful of people did good, and everybody else did pretty bad. Like Tiger Woods was playing on Sunday, and I think ended up being like 1 or 2 over and stuff like that, which, not that great. But
when Tiger's struggling, everyone's gonna be struggling, dude, right?
That would be true if this were like 15 years ago, but mostly now Tiger be struggling. Outside of that, when he randomly won, a couple of years ago. But yeah, so shout out to Scotty. Baseball, opening day was last Thursday. I think every team is through their first series against whoever they're playing. So I think most teams have about 3 games played, probably playing their 4th game today. And
now in baseball, I'm a little amateur. Like I know baseball kind of, but is every single thing a series? Like every single time they play a team, they play them 3 times in the regular season?
Yeah, I think for the most part. I think there's some weird things, but yeah, it's pretty much always.
Well, there's never like a scenario where they play them once and then go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's just for like traveling purposes.
No, I mean it makes sense. Yeah, I think the NBA should do that too, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, they started to do that a little bit.
Yeah, NBA, they'll play like
NBA.
teams at least twice usually, a lot of the time.
Yeah, or you'll play like a team that's really close to that other team.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're playing the Kings, you might play the Warriors the next week or something like that. You know,
which is cool.
or not the next week, the next game. But just in baseball, you know, it's a huge long season, so we're not going to go into it that much right now. But I just thought I'd mention two names that if you're interested in the card game, like who you could buy for pretty cheap right now. And I think the biggest buy in my book is Bo Bichette. He plays for the Blue Jays, and his card value is just pretty low simply because he's number 2, right, on this team. Vladimir Guerrero is super popular. Everybody loves Vladdy, and rightfully so. Vladdy's awesome as hell, but Bo Bichette is also super good, and his stats are always great, so I think there's a play where you can buy Bo Bichette for pretty cheap.
Yeah, Bo Bichette, I just looked up some... I decided just to look up his rookies on that website we found.
Yeah, 130 point, by the way. That's the website we're using everybody to look up card
Very
value.
convenient. I would highly recommend it for people that are annoyed with eBay as much as I would. But yeah, just looking at some random base, like a Bo Bichette 2020 Topps Chrome, number 150, PSA 10, graded, is $41.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Being able to get a PSA 10 of like a legit young stud for that cheap.
And the same card, number 78, but the PSA 9 is $12. Or sold for $12, I should say. I shouldn't say it is 12, but same difference.
Yeah, definitely going to be somebody that I try and pick up a couple like refractors. I don't have any Bo Bichette, so, but definitely somebody that I'm looking into buying. And then the other person who's younger than Bo Bichette is Bobby Witt Jr. You know, this is like his first main play in the majors right now, and he's just supposed to be a stud. So yeah, those are the two people that I'd recommend you guys look into buying.
Bobby Witt.
Yeah. Bobby Witt, yeah.
Yeah, I tried to see if I can find some stuff for some people here. Bobby Witt. That's actually not too bad. But you can get a Bobby Witt Jr. signed 2019 Panini USA Stars and Stripes number 89 rookie card for $110.
Yeah, an auto for 110 for somebody who is going to be like one of the faces of baseball. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
PSA. It doesn't say what grade that is, 9 or 10. But I mean, regardless, that's still...
Yeah, with autos, the grade matters a little less. You know, it's just the auto fact of it. But, you know, grade still matters for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the two people that I'm looking at buying right now. I bought some other people, too, for the baseball season. I bought shortstop for the Yankees, Anthony Volpe, which, you know, and then I bought Joe Adele, too.
Yeah, well, still Yankees, though.
Yeah, I bought the shortstop for the Yankees simply because they're the Yankees, right? And their following is so big. So if he becomes something crazy, that card's gonna be crazy. I have his bought his mojo, which is right there, that card.
Okay. Yeah, everyone mojos actually.
Yeah, that's that. You know, other news in baseball. I was just before I came here, I was at my high school's the high school I teach at, their baseball game, and they won 9-0. So shout out to the SaberCats right there. And actually, one of their players was the one that told me I should try and buy an Anthony Volpe card. Yeah, he told me I should buy an Anthony Volpe card.
Dude, we should start sporting SaberCat hats, dude. That'd be dope.
Yeah, get some SaberCat baseball hats. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's it for baseball. Soccer. Whew. You know, I got the boys behind me, Manchester City here. Huge game this past weekend between them and Liverpool on Sunday. You know, a lot of people, Mikey being one of them, says soccer's pretty boring. And you know, I understand it. Like, I don't find it boring, but I definitely see how you can.
Yeah, to me though, the reason soccer is boring is I really feel like if the field was smaller, I would enjoy it a lot more. Like, it just takes so long sometimes for the ball to finally make its way to even near the net without being stolen or intercepted, whatever you want to call it. And I 1 or 2 goals a game, and that's sometimes that's awful, man. That's painful to watch.
I mean, 2 goals is pretty good offensive showing there.
To me, that's like watching a football game and it being the final score being 9-3. That's an awful football game.
Yeah. Yeah, bigger field, wider field, all that kind of stuff definitely plays into the fact that it's way more defensive focused than like football or whatever. But the game between City and Liverpool ended up being 2-2, a draw.
Okay.
And just super entertaining. Honestly, like I would recommend anybody try and go watch the highlights of that. Not even the highlights, like the whole game was just back and forth and a lot of attacking chances and stuff like that. Like Mikey's saying, it takes a long time for them to get the ball in the final third, but the ball was in the final third all the time. So
Well, they play
it
again
was a
on
great game.
Saturday, dude.
Yeah, they play again. It's not for the Premier League. It's not in the Premier League that time. They play in the FA Cup in the semifinals. So you best bet your ass I'm gonna be watching that game. City has a game against Atletico. Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? In the next couple of days, in the Champions League too. City won the first matchup 1-0, so they just need to draw or win this one and they move on. And
Right.
so things are shaping up pretty well for me. Why we're mentioning the City Liverpool game? First off, it was badass, but second off, those are the two teams that are running away with the Premier League title. It's a two-team race at this point. City has 74 points, Liverpool has 73 points, so they're only separated by 1 point. They have the same number of games left in the Premier League, which is 7. So we'll keep you updated on every week on how that's shaping out. But City has a little bit. They have the 1 point advantage, and they have the slightly easier run in, I would say. So I would definitely be betting City, although obviously I like Manchester City
Right.
too. So. But unbiasedly would be betting on Manchester City to win it all too at this point. Although Liverpool is amazing, so if City slip up in any way, Liverpool will take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah.
But that's it for pretty much every sport besides the one that we're gonna talk about.
Basketball.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. All right, so real quick before we get into our playoffs stuff, there's the play-in.
Yes, sir.
Which I thought I would explain real quick because it's a relatively new thing and it kind of is confusing. Because you would think, okay, well, you're going to have a play in between 7, 8, 9, and 10. It would be like 7 versus 10 and 8 versus 9, but that is not how it works. You have 7 versus 8 and 9 versus 10 in the first rounds of the play-in. And so what happens is whoever wins 7, 8 goes into the actual playoffs as the 7 seed. All right, so that 7-8 matchup, for instance, in the West is Minnesota versus the Clippers. Whoever wins that in that one game that they play will go in as the 7 seed and face the Grizzlies. The loser of that will go on to face the winner of that 9-10 matchup. And then whoever wins that game between the winner of the 9-10 and the loser of the 7-8 goes on to be the 8 seed and play the Suns. All right, so if you're a 7 or an 8, all you have to do is win one game.
Yeah.
If you're a 9 or a 10, you have to win two games, and the best you can do is be an 8 seed. So it's definitely stacked up where the 7 and the 8
Yeah,
are
so
the
over on
ones
the
that advance.
west. Over on the west, if you're 9 or 10, you're either way you're playing against the Suns. So Godspeed in your journey.
Yeah, it's most definitely a fat L. But yeah, so that's how the play-in works. Let's go through who we think's going to win in those play-ins, and also, when we get to any teams that have relevant young players, I'll try and say what my plan would be to do with their cards if you have them, or to buy them, or whatever. So. All right, Mikey, who's the 9-10 in the West?
9-10 in the West, we got the New Orleans Pelicans versus the San Antonio Spurs.
If you look at those records, the Pelicans are 36-46, the Spurs are 34-48, so both way under 500.
Wait, I feel like that one's just a toss-up, man.
Yeah, it really is. The fact that I'm gonna go Spurs just because of their coach is probably the best basketball coach of all time, in Greg Popovich.
Okay.
And the Pelicans, Zion's not playing or anything, so I'm just going to take the better coach. Even though I think the Pelicans have probably a little bit better of a team, I'm going to take the better coach on that, actually.
I respect that.
So give me the Spurs.
Okay, and then other than that, we got adjacent to that, we got the LA Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So yeah, the Timberwolves are 7, Clippers are 8.
Yeah.
And these teams are both above 500. The Timberwolves are 46 and 36. The Clippers are 42 and 40.
Now, what's the status on Kawhi? Is Kawhi even like a status? I haven't looked into him at all because he's just been out because his knee blew up or whatever it was.
Yeah, Mikey has been following the NBA long enough to know that Kawhi is probably the weirdest dude on the planet as far as basketball is concerned. Although Kyrie is trying to challenge that right now, but nobody knows what about Kawhi. I think that he like could play, or like I don't know, like. Most players,
Yeah,
if they can play in the playoffs, will play. But Kawhi is like, I don't know. So right now it's just Paul George and a bunch of everybody
It's
else's.
Paul George and co.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the Timberwolves have Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. So some very young people on the Anthony Edwards side of it. That's like from last year's draft, not this most recent one, but the one before that. So 2020 stuff is going to have Ant-Man. They drafted him second overall.
Yeah,
Wait, no.
it's
Is it second overall? Yeah, I
who
think.
Ant-Man.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I believe he was. I remember.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
LaMelo was
Anthony
one, right?
Edwards. I'll make sure for you. Yeah, he was round one pick one in 2020.
Ant-Man? Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. That's right. LaMelo was the second, I think. And then James Wiseman was third. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, everybody. Even I make mistakes, I'm not perfect, although I'm pretty close. When it comes to basketball. But yeah, Anthony Edwards. Obviously, if Anthony Edwards moves on and like upsets like Jaw in that 2-7, like if they make the playoffs, like that'll be big. So out of that matchup 7-8, I think I'm gonna pick Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards
I was gonna
to move
say
on.
that's what I was waiting to say. Was I'm gonna have to go with Minnesota in that one, especially if Kawhi is not playing, which he's probably not. So
Yeah, exactly. At this point, we got to say probably not.
yeah.
So we have the Timberwolves slotting into that 7th seed, which we would then have the Clippers versus the Spurs, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because we said the Clippers. Yeah. Which I guess give me the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like
They
at
at
that
least have
point,
Paul George. Yeah.
Paul George is way better than anybody else in that matchup. So let's move Paul George into the 8th. What about over on the East, Mikey?
Over on the East, we have Atlanta going up against Charlotte. Atlanta. Both these teams hold the same record of 43 and 39 at 9 and 10 seed. 10
Yeah, so
seed
this
being the
is
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, this is a weird year where the East is, or doesn't have the best team like the West does, but the East is like pretty good all the way down to 10. Like the 10th seed is 43 and 39. It's a pretty solid record. Whereas the 10th seed in the West is 34 and 48. So
Yeah, it's pretty
the East
drastic.
is,
9-game differential.
Yeah, the East is like pretty good everywhere. So Hawks versus the Hornets. So you got what? Trae Young as the leader of the Hawks, young shoot first point guard versus LaMelo Ball on the Hornets, a young shoot first point guard.
I'm gonna have to go with Atlanta on this one because if you just look at the way that Trae played in the playoffs last year, he popped off, man, and I think he's already proven that he can do it in the playoffs, and I think LaMelo still has to prove that, obviously. So I would just have to automatically give the edge to the Hawks, probably.
I would
Like,
100% agree with you for everything that you said, just given that the Hawks have been there. But the Hawks have very much underperformed this year.
yeah.
Last year they're in the freaking Eastern Conference Finals, dude, and they're now 9th seed. That's pretty rough. But yeah, give me the Hawks too.
Then over here, so we got 7 and 8. We have 7 being the Brooklyn Nets. And again, 7 and 8 seed both have the same exact record. Both 44 and 38. The Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that was a pretty obvious choice.
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers were like were really good early on, right? They were like the 3rd seed in the East for a while. Mobley and Jared Allen and Darius Garland were all working out really well, but then they got hit with the injury bug, and now they have to face freaking Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in the.
I don't think any sane person would bet against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving against the
Kevin
Cleveland
Durant in a
Cavaliers.
1-game playoff. Yeah, give me Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, Evan Mobley.
So that would put Atlanta versus Cleveland. That's an interesting take. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I guess that comes down to health, and I think everybody on the Cavs is like pretty healthy at this point. I want to say I'm not
Okay.
super sure on that. But the Cavs have insanely good defense. With Jared Allen and Evan Mobley out there. They got a good guard in Darius Garland. The Hawks have Trey Young and Co. As you said for another team. Yeah, Trey Young and Co. over there on the Hawks. So I'm gonna pick Cleveland, I guess. Yeah, why not?
Cleveland. Okay. So we have Cleveland going up against Miami, and then we have the Nets going into that 7th seed against Boston, who have really gotten it together towards the end of the season,
Whew.
by the way.
Yeah, the Boston
They were
Celtics
nowhere to
are
be found, and
scary.
all of a sudden they are just dominating.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they are pretty terrifying. So now that's the play-in.
Yeah.
So now let's go through each matchup in the first round and say who we think is going to win and why. And for the why, if the why has anything to do with young people, we will let you know. All right. So we
Yeah.
have the Suns, the 1 seed in the West, going up against who we say was going to be the 8 seed, the Clippers, right?
Yeah, the Clippers.
So the Suns versus the Clippers. I would
That's
say, obviously, the matchup would be a lot harder if Kawhi's back, but even if Kawhi's not back, give me the Suns.
yeah.
So here's the first thing, everybody. Um, when I got into this hobby, I was like, ooh, I'm going to buy young people. And I did that. And I made some rather, in hindsight, if I could go back in time, I made some dumb moves. For sure, everybody does, and I will be the first to tell you that I made some dumb moves, and I'm going to show you some of those dumb moves when they come up. And the first one was I decided when I like the Suns a lot, and I'm getting into this, I'm going to buy young people that I think are going to have a big reason to do with them winning. And it's true, they do have a big reason to do with them winning, but the reason they do that is on defense. So I bought two. Let's see if I can show this on camera. I bought two Mikal Bridges cards and two DeAndre Ayton cards right here. Right, both great players. Um, but
Let's go.
their impact is on defense, and the hobby doesn't respect defense. And this is a thing that you are going to see is a really common thread in these mistakes that I'm going to show off today. So what am I going to do for these mistakes? If these people, Mikal and DeAndre Ayton, are a little different because I really do think that they're going to go all the way, so I'm going to hold on to those a little bit longer. But for any of these other mistakes, if they have like a good first round or even a good couple of first games in the first round, I'm selling. Dude,
I
I'm
mean,
getting out
I
from
mean, if you
underneath.
look at DeAndre Ayton, man, he last year in the playoffs, DeAndre Ayton he took over games, man.
Yeah,
So
and that's the other fact.
if he can pull together right now, his card value can easily go up, and then that would probably be the ideal time to sell, because then in the season he doesn't have to try as hard on offense as he apparently does in the playoffs. If it turns out to be that way.
Yeah, for sure. If he strings together a couple of good offensive games, get out from underneath him is my move for sure. Not that I don't like DeAndre Ayton. I hope he's a part of the Suns for like 10 more years at least,
It's like you said,
But
though, they don't respect defense in the card game.
yeah, and they
So
don't respect big men, and that is what he is as a defensive big man. So yeah. And Mikal is pretty much a 3-and-D player, and he just doesn't get enough shots.
yeah,
Devin Booker and Chris Paul are the ones getting the shots around there. So yeah. So give us the Suns. I think Mikey and I are definitely both taking the Suns in that
both
matchup.
taking the Suns in
Probably,
that matchup.
I'm gonna think maybe I don't know. I'm thinking straight up sweep 4-0. I think they're just way better than the Clippers.
You get 4-0.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm gonna go
sweep.
3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1.
You mean 4-1?
Or 4-1. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah, it's best of 7. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
4-1.
gonna
So
go
Mikey's
4-1.
picking.
I think Paul George is gonna have one game where he pops off, and I think the Suns are gonna have one game where Devin Booker doesn't show up.
Yep, and if those both match up, like both of those things match up, definitely the Clippers are going to win. So Mikey is picking what in basketball is called a gentleman's sweep, a 4-1.
And then
It's the 2-7.
yeah, so how do you want to go through it here? We got the Phoenix beating the Clippers.
Let's just do.
We'll bounce
just
back
do
and forth. Go back to Cleveland, going to the Miami Heat. ultimately
All
that
right,
direction.
buddy.
So we
Why don't you
got
take us away on that?
so Miami obviously has been playing pretty decent throughout the entire season. They've been off and on. I think they're 6-4 in their last 10 games right now, and they've been kind of not playing as well. Like they almost got passed up by Boston and Milwaukee for the number 1 seed. So I mean, and Philly, realistically, they all have the same record. But and I think at one point they had like a 7 or 8 game lead, so they definitely been letting it slip a little bit. But they've lost a lot. They have 6-4 in their last 10 games. Haven't been performing well, but I think that's part of the reason that they put. Who did I say they put in place of
Maxwell Struess.
I think maybe it's a little bit of
Strauss?
communication building because they put him in towards the end. I'm thinking that might be the reason. So hopefully they can kind of get that together. And I think as long as they get the communication together, and if Jimmy Butler is healthy, because he has some health concerns, obviously always.
Always.
I think they'll do. I would also say Miami's going to do a gentleman's sweep of Cleveland. But again, that's a lot. That's asking for a lot of things to happen. But yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1 on that too. Because I feel like Miami, obviously, they have Eric Spoelstra. Miami always kind of takes off in the playoffs. So.
Oh yeah, Miami have the best coach right now for sure, in my opinion, Eric Spoelstra. I said Greg Popovich for the Spurs is the best coach all time, but the Heat have the best coach with a good team, I guess. That combination. Yeah, my worry with the Heat is that they don't have that one go-to scorer with the final 4 minutes, but I don't think that's going to matter against the Cavs, so I'm definitely going to go with the Heat.
They gave Duncan Robinson the giant extension to be that guy for some reason, even though he's not that guy. No, trust me, he's not that good.
and the Heat definitely have one young relevant guy in Tyler Hero. And if you got Tyler Hero stuff, I don't know, man. I just if he strings together a good couple playoff games, in my opinion, I'd be selling Tyler Hero stuff if he does that. I just don't. I don't know what the long-term thing is there. He's like a 6-man for the Heat. He doesn't even start for them really. Yeah. So I don't if he strings together some good games, I think I'd be selling.
He's the 6th man, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's the second highest average points per game on the team right now. Behind that.
Oh yeah, he scores, but
so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if he strings together a good round 1, I'd be selling. And then on the other side of that, we said the Heat would win, but the Cavs obviously have a couple of young dudes, and Darius Garland is from the stuff we're opening 2019, and then Evan Mobley he's a rookie this year. So if they somehow up in the Heat, I think their card prices are going to go crazy, and I'd probably sell on that too. If you have any of that stuff in Garland or Mobley. But so those are the 1-8s. What are the 2-7s, Mikey?
All right, the 2-7s we have going back over to the West. We got the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
My boy Ja. Yeah, so Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks, all young people on the Grizzlies, obviously led by that dude named Ja.
Ja's up there.
Ja's pretty good, yeah. And then the Timberwolves would have Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. So a lot of young, relevant dudes for sure. Which really, so here's the deal, right? We said we'd talk about cards that I have. So I got these 3 Jaws right here. All pretty low tier Jaws, but they are Jaws, So my plan is when Ja wins this first round, and even when he goes on, because I'm going to pick him to win the second round, too, when we get to that in a couple weeks. I'm going to sell these bad boys on the high, and then in the offseason when the inevitable dip happens, I'm going to buy back and get a higher tier Ja card, sell these 3 lower tier ones and move in on a high Ja card, but that's my play there. I think Ja's going to win probably 2 rounds at least.
I agree.
I don't pick him to win the Suns, but I pick him to get there to play the Suns, and then so. And then I guess all the Grizzlies would fall in line with that, Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr. if you have any of those. But I definitely think the Grizzlies are going to win this matchup.
Yeah, I would definitely go with the Grizzlies too, just solely because of Ja. Guy's playing out of his mind. And then over on the east side, we got Boston going up against Brooklyn. That's going to be a series. What that's going to be.
Yeah,
That's a
so
series that I am excited to watch, assuming it happens.
so the Boston Celtics, since the All-Star break, and even since I think the beginning of this season, or not this season, this year, like 2022, have played like the best team in basketball record-wise. They've just been a straight like buzzsaw, and for being a buzzsaw and being that good, they now get to play against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. A big freaking reward right there, man. Whereas if you would have been the 3 seed, you got to play against the Bulls, which is a lot easier matchup in my opinion. But the Celtics have the best defense in basketball. Um, and they got a dude that's really important to them coming back from injury. I think he will be back in Robert Williams, or at
Okay.
least he could come back like somewhere in the series.
Is
And I think
Middleton
that little
in? I,
boost.
I saw something about an injury with Middleton. Is he in?
That's Middleton on the Bucks, buddy. But
Oh, I want. Yeah, he's on the Bucks. I don't know why I was thinking he's on the same color, man. Right?
yeah, no. The big stars on the Celtics are going to be Jason Tatum
Tatum.
and
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown. Are their big studs. And so it's going to be pretty much amazing defense versus amazing offense. But on the flip side, the Celtics also have a pretty damn good offense with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and the Nets have just a shit defense. So that's probably going to be what my pick is just that Boston will win
Yeah.
based off of the two things they're weaker, or the things they're weaker in. They are better than the Nets.
It's pretty apt. It's pretty apt analysis. I'd have to agree with you. I think
Yeah,
the good defense is always going to beat a good offense. So
yeah.
defense wins games, which is
But I
why I
mean,
don't understand why defensive players are so undervalued in sports cards, man.
yep,
Defensive
all about the points.
defense wins games, man.
But I don't. We've been saying sweeps in a lot of these. There ain't gonna be no sweep in this. This is
Nah.
gonna be probably like a 6 or 7 game series, because Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, when they're on, I don't care how good your defense is, it's not stopping them. Like, I think those boys are gonna combine for like in this series probably like 65, 70 points each game or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's just. But they don't have a lot of others on the Nets. So give me the Celtics, which you're in agreement with, right?
Yeah, you say Celtics. So what do you think? 4-3 or 4-2?
4-3.
4-3.
Just because I think Kevin Durant is amazing.
Okay. Respect. Okay, and then we're gonna bounce back. So that's again, just do a little class flashback. We got Phoenix beating the Clippers. We got Memphis beating the Timberwolves. We have Miami beating Cleveland, and we have Boston beating Brooklyn. And what we have is the closest series so far. Now, bouncing back over to, we'll do the 3-6s. 3-6 on the West, we have Golden State going against Denver. Now, I know this game basically just matters on if Jamal Murray and Steph Curry are back. Both are very crucial to this series, especially if Steph comes back and Murray doesn't come back. That's very bad for Denver.
Yeah, I mean Steph's injury is like a lot less severe. Murray's been out for pretty much an entire year, but your analysis is correct. If Murray doesn't come back and it's Steph, Clay, and Dre versus just Jokic, obviously I'm gonna take the Warriors on that.
He is one man.
But Jokic has been playing amazing. He is the best player in basketball this season. I specified this season because I think Giannis is the best player in basketball, period. So, but the Joker's playing like the best player in basketball this season. Straight amazing. He's just been carrying this corpse of the Denver Nuggets team to the playoffs. And, but yeah, if he has to go up against a fully healthy Warriors, then that's probably it. Obviously, I hope Jamal Murray comes back, because
Yeah.
I would like to sell this card at some point, Um,
Denver was fun to watch in the playoffs, man, with Jamal Murray. He was dropping
Jamal
like
Murray.
45 points in the game. He was popping off. A lot of fun.
Yeah, for a Robin for Jokic's Batman, Jamal Murray's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've been out the Nuggets have been without their second and their third best player, and the Joker has done this much. Should just give him the MVP like straight up. But give
Oh
me the
yeah,
Warriors.
Warriors. Okay, I'm gonna be in agreement with you. If even if all the players come back, I still even if Murray and Curry come back both, I would still take Golden State. I think. Um, then we'll bounce over to the East. We this one's kind of like a joke series to me. I don't know. You have Milwaukee going up against the Chicago Bulls, and I think Milwaukee's gonna. I honestly I'm gonna say 4-0.
Yeah.
Because Chicago just fell apart at the end of the season, and I don't think they're going to be getting it back against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, no. The Bulls are gonna have literally no answer for Giannis. In last playoffs, we saw what having no answer to Giannis does. It just means we lose.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna say 4-0, maybe a gentleman's sweep of 4-1, but yeah, Bucks. Yeah, straight
Like
up.
that one doesn't even require much thought. I feel like most people would be in agreement with that series. So you got the Bucks beating Chicago. Bouncing back over to the West at the 4-5s, we have this one. I don't know. This one has the Dallas Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz.
So here's the deal for me. When I get to a one that I don't know, which is exactly what this is, I do this thing of who's the best player, and
Yeah,
Dallas's best player
yeah.
is Luka, and the Jazz's best player is Donovan Mitchell, and Luka is better than Donovan Mitchell. So that's how I do. Give me Luka.
Fair. Yeah,
Yeah,
Dallas.
and
Okay.
there's not really any hobby relevant players here. Like, I mean, like obviously, if you have Luka stuff, amazing. And if he advances far in the playoffs, that's going to be great. But Luka stuff is like crazy expensive. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't got any Luka stuff. So, if you do,
Yeah.
congrats, I guess.
And I don't really have an argument to go against why you're choosing Dallas to win, so I'd have to say Dallas too, just because of the best player.
Uh huh.
Um, Bouncing over to the East, we have Philadelphia versus Toronto. Now, I haven't personally seen it since as we mentioned before, I barely got into the NBA during the bubble, but I've heard that Joel Embiid has a habit of wetting the bed in the playoffs.
Yeah, a little bit for sure. And he got paired up with this most recent trade, another person that wets the bet a lot in the playoffs with James Harden. So
I think we are going to see the upset with the 5 beating the 4. I know it's not a major upset, but I can see with the Raptors beating them in like a 4-3 or 4-2 fashion. To be honest, if Joel
yeah,
Embiid wets the bed, like I've heard he does. So
yeah, I think that um, that we said that Boston Brooklyn series was going to be really interesting. I think this one's going to be super interesting. Now there is the chance that Embiid and Harden just play to how good they can play and they roll, but we've seen time and time again in the playoffs that doesn't happen. So the Raptors definitely don't have the first best player in the matchup, probably don't have the second best player in the matchup, but they probably have the third through like the sixth best player in the matchup.
I think Toronto is just a better. Like they have just a solid team. I think we've talked about this last week or the week before. Like they just have a solid team, and that's
Yeah.
why they're winning games. Like they
Yeah.
don't have anyone like it's like Kevin Durant or Luka Doncic or Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler. They just have a solid team.
Yeah, and that brings me to another one of my big mistakes early on. I bought this OG Ananobi, red yellow, because I was like, OG's really good. I like OG. And my basketball knowledge just bit me in the ass because this was another case of where I was like, I'm gonna buy a defensive player that's young and good, and he just never really developed much of an offensive game. He's got a good 3-point shot every once in a while, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that's another fat L. So if the Raptors do what I think they're gonna do and beat the Sixers, yeah, I'm gonna sell that card right away and get out from under that. But yeah, man, I think that's pretty much it for the playoffs, right? Or the first round.
Uh,
So to
yeah,
recap,
that is it for the first round, and yeah, recap
yeah,
if you want to do that.
for the recap in the West, the teams we think that are moving on are the Suns, the Mavericks, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies. Wow, we went 1, 2, 3, and 4 there.
Yeah.
And then the East, we have the Heat moving on, the Raptors, the Bucks and the Celtics.
So are you also saying
1,
the
2,
Raptors
3,
and the
5.
Philadelphia one?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
think the Raptors too. Oh yeah, sorry. One last thing with the Raptors, hobby relevant people. They got probably, I think, the second best rookie from this most recent draft class in Scotty Barnes. So if they win, you could sell your Scotty Barnes stuff. I probably wouldn't. I would just hold Scotty Barnes because I think he's gonna be super good. So but there's a play there, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's our breakdown of the playoffs. And that's pretty much all the sports stuff we have to talk about.
Man,
So,
and we will see where the playoffs turn out, and of course we'll talk about it next Monday, recap on some of the games that have happened by that time. Casey, you want to go ahead and show us what we're opening today?
yeah, well, since basketball heavy pod, we're gonna be
Open
opening
some
basketball
hockey
stuff.
packs out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got you have the F1s on the way still, right?
Yeah, the
F1 racing.
F1s. We got the UFCs, the WWEs, all that kind of stuff on the
Yeah.
way. Dropping just thousands of dollars on those packs. No, it's a joke. I'm not dropping thousands of dollars on that stuff. But what we're going to be opening, our series of chasing Jaw continues because Jaw is now the second seed in the West. Jaw. Exactly. So we're going to be opening 2019 Illusions Blaster. You guys might recognize this from a couple weeks ago, where it won like the lamest matchup of all time. Just terrible box opening. This blaster box will run you about $35, and it is going up against the Optic Cello pack from 2019, which this bad boy runs you about $45. So the blaster is at a pretty big disadvantage price-wise and just quality-wise, in my opinion.
This is the first time we're opening up an Optic pack, or anything Optic, right? Besides the Chronicles occasional Optic cards.
That's true. Yep. So. First Optic. I like Optic a lot. We're getting towards, the way I planned it out was that since we're in the playoffs, we have some higher end basketball stuff that we're going to be going head to head with.
Yeah.
So yeah, but let's see who wins. Illusions is going to have to show up this time. Yesterday did not show up, but it's going to have to show up if it wants to move on.
All right. So let's go ahead and open some packs.
Yep. All right. So before we get opening the packs, I just wanted to show off some of the most recent things we got. First off, I'm buying Tua right now as far as quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe not the best call as far as like true potential, but I think he's pretty low right now, and he just got an amazing quarterback. So I think Tua
got
could
an
look good
quarterback?
First couple. Got an amazing wide receiver. Shit.
That's wild, dude.
You got me.
I mean, he wouldn't be an amazing quarterback to be a starter.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been picking up Tua stuff on the cheap just for the hopes that he pops off in the first couple weeks, and I'm going to sell him real early in the NFL season if he strings together a couple, like 2-3 good games.
I would get out from underneath those as fast as I possibly could.
Yeah.
I really do feel that Tua is going to amount to be nothing. So.
Man, that's hella mean, dude.
I don't know. When I watch him play, man, he just doesn't have it. He's got his like water balloon
hater. All right, and then this is that baseball card I bought most recently, that Anthony Volpe, the shortstop for the Yankees. And then this was the thing I teased last week. I said it should arrive in the mail. Yeah, Trey Lance, the quarterback for the 49ers, should be starter. But, I mean, we don't know what they're doing with Jimmy, to be honest with you there.
Dropping him hopefully because he's taking up $25 million of our cash boost.
Hopefully that's what we're doing. But, yeah, I bought into a break of Immaculate College. I got the 49ers and pulled this Trey Lance 28/99 auto right there. So that card's about 120, 130 right now. It's him in his college uniform, so North Dakota State University, so never going to sell as much as him in his Niner uniform, but I think it's cool for sure.
No, yeah, that's awesome.
And obviously, as a Niners fan, this is like super special to me.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, it does great. All right, so now on to the basketball. We have the Jaws PSA 10 10, 9 back there just to show you who we're going for. But obviously, if we get some nice Zions or some nice Tyler Heroes or Darius Garlands, we're going to be okay with that. But all right, let's open the illusions first.
You hold decisions like a barbarian.
That's how you're supposed to do it for the. Okay, dude. Jaw on the cover, as he should be.
Jaw. How much box did they waste for these packs? Let me see. We get a pic of that.
Check that out, boy.
Make him stand up for me. Like lean it over. That's what I'm talking about. Literally twice the box. Like.
Yes, sir. Got the scissors this time, so there's no super embarrassing trying to open the pack for a long time. Cuts right through card. That'd be hilarious. Cuts right through numbered jaw.
Wouldn't it be better to cut it down the side and then rip it down the side and then just pull them out?
Shut up, dude. Shut up, dude. Okay, so cards. We're gonna do the whole crap on the right, rookies in the middle, hits on the left kind of deal. So crap. I
got the search thing pulled up and
crap.
I got the
and
search.
RJ Barrett.
I got the search pulled up in case you want to look up the value of any card. This website's fantastic, so it's super easy.
Yeah, let's just see how these rip. Oh, that was ripped pretty well. All right, so we're getting through stuff. We can just rip. We don't have to cut on this. Just last week was bothering the crap out of me. So Christian Wood, Andrew Wiggins, Andre Drummond, rookie reflections, Kevin Porter Jr. from the Cavs, and DeMar DeRozan from the Spurs.
That's not too bad.
I mean,
right?
DeMar is not a rookie in this, so the rookie is Kevin Porter Jr. It's just I think it's supposed to be like we think Kevin Porter Jr. is like DeMar, but they're not anywhere near like they're not like each other at all. So I don't quite get that. Kevin Porter Jr. is all right though. It's not terrible. The bald eagle.
Oh, man.
And then Ty Jerome from the Suns. All right, so far, Illusions is not bringing it. Oh, that one opened like butter right there. That was nice. We got Drew Holiday, Mike Conley. We got Kelly Oubre. We got a clear shots LeBron James. That's kind of cool. It's one of those acetate cards, so it's clear in some parts. That might be worth probably like, I'm going to say $3. That's my guess.
Clear shots, LeBron James, Illusions.
2019. Make sure to put 2019 in there. Kawhi Leonard. And then Matisse. Some Matisse Thybulle action. Gary Harris. Cody Zeller. Troy Brown Jr. Jordan Poole for the Warriors.
$1, by the way.
Rip. Bam Adebayo. And rookie Jarrett Culver. We got 2 packs left, Illusions. You better do something. Or Optic is going slow.
You're going to pull it in autograph jar right now, so.
That'd be nice. I'd cry. Yeah, Robert Covington, Kyle Kuzma, Joel Embiid. What is this?
Is that a Cam?
Yeah, it's a Cam Johnson little sideways thing. What does it say? It is Instant Impact. Cam Johnson. That's cool. Especially as a Suns fan, you know. Michael Porter Jr. And then Kyle Guy. Yeah, that's my guy. We got him.
It's like $2 for that Cam Johnson. Yeah, $2.
All right, last pack needs to be magical. If, you know,
right now we're at about $3, guys. Keeping track. So that's if we sold those cards, which we probably wouldn't. So
Yeah, probably wouldn't be able to. All right, we got Brooke Lopez, Derek Favors, James Harden, John Wall, Aaron Gordon, and the last card
Give us something. Give
is
us something.
Golden State Warriors, Eric
Oh
Pascal.
my god.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. So Illusions is really
Yeah, Illusions
not
got
doing it.
lucky last week and moved on just based off of how shit the other
That's
one
what I'm saying.
was. But
Illusions really overall, honestly, dude, has not been pulling well.
yeah, I'm hoping that it gets knocked out right now. To be quite honest with you, we'll move the base cards, get those out of there. We'll keep the quote unquote hits for that right here, and then we will open that optic and hope that optic smokes it. So, oh yeah, real quick. In cello packs you get those nice little like exclusive parallels at the back end.
Yeah.
So in optic you get blue velocity. You get a little blue velocity sleeve of 3 cards at the end. So this cello was before they decided to consolidate packs. So we're gonna have 3 4-card packs and then the blue velocity pack in the back. So and we'll save that one for the end, like always. And 2019 Optic has Kyrie Irving on it. So that's a bold choice given everything that's happened, but obviously they didn't know that back then. Kyrie's still a great player. Let me get that straight. Kyrie's great. All right, so there's Optic, Mikey.
Okay.
That's our look. We got Alan Crabb. We got Joe Ingles.
I like these cards.
We got a splash Donovan Mitchell. And then we got Ish Smith. So not a single rookie in that pack. That splash Donovan Mitchell's kind of, I mean, it's cool.
So what's this one? It's Optic. No, yeah.
2019 Optic. That's not going to be worth anything, Michael.
No, I'm pre-filling in my 2019 Optic
Pre-filling.
for the search.
Yeah, it's called Don Russ Optic, but Optic
I mean,
will
I
work.
was saying it's on this site for sports cards, so I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah. Ennis Cantor, Ivica Zubox, and then we got another insert here. We got a Fantasy Stars Anthony Davis. It's like a hollow version of that right there. That's coolish looking. And then our first rookie out of this rated rookie is Kevin Porter Jr. Out of Optic.
That Anthony Davis card is like that's not even $1.
50 cents, yeah.
Yeah. You say we got a rookie card? Which rookie was it?
Kevin Porter Jr. For the Cavs. It's gonna be like $1 probably. Steph Curry, Gary Harris. All right, we got something cool right here. We got a blue optic rated rookie, Quindary Weatherspoon. Oh my god. We get a cool blue. Griffin. We get a blue rated rookie, and it's Quindary Weatherspoon. Sometimes you can't make this shit up. It's just L's. All right, blue velocity. Time. Please give us a rookie. Please give us a good rookie. We got blue velocity, Lou Williams. We got James Harden. Rookie. Oh.
Is that Tyler?
Tyler Hero.
Oh, okay. Let me look that one up. What is it? So 2019
blue velocity Tyler
Optic
Hero.
Blue velocity Tyler Hero. 11 to $15.
Dang, I should have guessed on Mike because I was in my mind. I was like $12.
Yeah.
11 to 15.
Does not give us our money back, not even close, but it's better than nothing. Like,
yeah, better than anything the Illusions had. That's for sure. And I mean, you like the Heat, so getting a Tyler Hero card is kind of cool, especially having it be a blue velocity like that. So there, the Tyler got penny sleeved and put in a top loader. I'm honestly not sure anything else even deserves a penny sleeve out of this.
Nothing else was worth it. The next most expensive card was LeBron James, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might be. And since it's LeBron, I'll put it in a penny sleeve just to pay respects to the king. But yeah, other than that,
I feel like you could just put it in a normal sleeve, man. You don't even need to put the LeBron one
yeah,
in a fancy one.
yeah, no, it's just gonna get a penny sleeve, which is just the normal sleeve, and then for sure. All right, that's it for the cards.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think Optic won that, but because of Tyler Hero, obviously. But
Yeah, one card won it, and that was the
yeah.
Tyler.
All right, guys, and that was it for the cards for today. Opened up the first card that we opened up here was the 2019 Illusions Blaster, which goes for about 35. It's followed by number 2, the Donruss Optic 2019 Cello Pack, which sells for about 45. Uh, quite honestly, I think both packs were kind of mediocre, obviously for the prices that we paid, or you paid, I should say.
Yeah, that's all right.
But like it, yeah, that's the
That's the
that's
big
the big
hit.
hit for the
That's
Don
the,
Russ. And that one, I think we found out it goes for about 10 to 15, so 12, 13, 12, $12.50 if you want to just median it out. Um, But yeah, so I think Optic takes this round, guys. And again, guys, if you guys saw any cards that we pulled, you're like, man, that card's really cool. I want that card. Again,
yeah, if you're a big fan of Quindary Weatherspoon,
yeah. But yeah, guys, just let us know. We'll try to find a way to get that card to you. And again, guys, as always, we hope you liked today's video. We will be back next Monday with some results from our predictions of the NBA playoff, play-in, and whatnot. I think this next couple months, most of our videos are probably just going to be about the NBA because the playoffs are happening and there's nothing else happening in the other sports that's that important. Obviously, when the draft comes around for the NFL, we'll probably have a video that really focuses on the NFL draft, of course. But yeah, guys, if you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to see when we go live, and hit that like button on our videos. We would really appreciate it. Any feedback you guys want to give us, just leave it in the comments below. But again, guys, as always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next Monday.
peace.